Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So what you see in front of you is the Starke Sound Beta5 bookshelf speakers. These were sent to me recently by Starke Sound in for a review. Look how good these speakers look sitting next to my KEF IQ40 loudspeakers. They are currently my reference speakers, so it was very nice to get a set of new speakers in here to test and see what a set of bookshelves can do in this room. I'm very excited to share with you my thoughts and initial impressions. I will say right off the bat, for $500, they are quite good looking speakers. There's not too many speakers in this price category that are as good looking or as well built as these speakers are. Not to mention that they have a pretty decent weight to them despite being so small. Very impressed with the overall look, fit, and feel of these speakers. So before we get into the review and impressions, let's get into that unboxing. Double boxed, which we love to see. Warranty card and user guide. Looks like we've got some speakers with some blue Loctite on them. Some little rubber grips. So this is only my second Starke Sound product that I'm unboxing, but I've noticed that they pay really close attention to detail when packaging their stuff. It's definitely got that premium look and feel. Each speaker is individually wrapped in a fabric little container here, which is awesome. And they're using a really high quality kind of squishy foam instead of that dense styrofoam. Very nice. These are the white oak bookshelf speakers. So it's got a white oak veneer with a white faceplate and a kind of a charcoal gray speaker grill here with the Starke logo right there. So let's pop that off and see what it looks like. Those are actually on there pretty good. Oh, very nice. So definitely a very nice grill. It's kind of a, I believe, a rigid plastic with metal posts. Maybe for contrast, we'll just kind of keep that on so you can see what the speaker looks like with the grill and without the grill. And it is very good looking. You got the Starke Sound logo right there. You've got your tweeter, which is a silk dome tweeter, and a carbon sandwich material that they use. I'll put that up on the screen right here. Starke Sound SMC transducer. So very nice, very clean, sexy appearance. Very nice, very sleek. Turn it around to the back here. Okay, coming around to the back side, you've got the terminal plates. Starke Sound Beta5s, designed by Starke Sound, assembled in China. Very nice, high quality 5-way binding post. And I'll admit, I'm a little bit surprised to learn that they are 4 ohm. I did not expect that at all. Traditionally, most speakers tend to be 8 ohm speakers, or at least all the speakers I've had in my home theaters over the last 20 years or so. So very interesting that they went with 4 ohm with such tiny little bookshelves. And you've got a little port hole here for the bass extension, which, you know, with a 5 1/4 woofer, I'm not expecting much, but then again, we will see in the tests. Very nice. Okay, and here we have the speakers, front and back appearance of the bookshelves, the Starke Sound Beta5s. So I'll put up all the technical specs up here on the screen, but just to go over real quick, we've got a 5 1/4 carbon fiber sandwich driver with HEMF technology and a 1 and 1.5 inch silk dome tweeter. Nominal impedance 4 ohms, sensitivity 86 decibels, recommended power amplification 30 to 150 watts, frequency response of 45 Hz to 23 kHz, and a maximum SPL output of 108 decibels. They come in white, black, and gray. All right, guys, so in the 2 weeks or so that my wife and I have been living with these bookshelf speakers, the Starke Sound Beta5 bookshelf speakers, we have been pleasantly surprised with their sound and performance given their size and their price point. Very clear, very detailed, a nice smooth mid-range, and a decent little bit of bassy punch in like the 60 Hertz region if you give it substantial volume. Now, these are definitely speakers that are going to need to be paired with a subwoofer. I would recommend a 10 or a 12 or even a 15, of course, but by themselves though, with enough output, they do perform pretty good in the 60 Hertz range. You can kind of feel just a little bit of that 60 Hertz in your chest when playing at a loud volume. We were able to listen to about 24 songs or so, and they ranged from Mozart to, various forms of rock that my wife and I are into. Stuff like Fleetwood Mac, John Mayer, Dave Matthews, Phoenix, Oasis, you name it. That's kind of our taste, and everything sounded great. I will say with the newer stuff, the bass came through quite nicely. With anything way older, you really do need to pump up that volume in order to get some decent bass output out of these things. So these would be best paired with, again, a 10, 12-inch subwoofer, and these would be good for small to medium-sized rooms. They would be good for studio monitors, living room spaces, shops, anything that's, a good small to medium-sized room. This is my 2-channel music listening room, where we like to listen to vinyl and digital music, and it kind of overflows into the living area, which is down below because it's on the 2nd floor. So it's a big open area. It's very echoey. There's a lot of flat surfaces over here that you can't see, and it sounds quite nice. Again, the only thing that it really needs is that punchy bass, but again, you can only expect so much from about a 5 1/4 inch woofer. They were very impressive though. We very much enjoyed listening to them. But for the money at $500, you'd be hard pressed to beat these at $500. And again, also just the look, fit, and finish. They're very clean, sleek, modern looking, and very stylish. It's been a good change of pace, getting something new up here from my daily drivers, which are my current reference, the KEF XQ40 loudspeakers. They stack up decently well, and again, this is something that I would recommend for those of you looking for a good sounding speaker in small to medium sized rooms. What I'll be doing here in another video is I will be moving these into my home theater, which is a medium size or small to medium sized home theater, but it's a more controlled space, obviously, so with acoustic treatment. So it'll be interesting to see what they sound like in that space, enclosed room, paired with a 12-inch REL subwoofer. So be looking forward to that video. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when that next video drops. Until next time, thank you for watching and happy listening. Bye.